Hey guys, Will here. Today we're going to be doing a little project where we involve a drone and an action camera like this. Stay tuned. Okay, I think as humans we're kind of obsessed with different type of dynamic shots, especially involving the vehicle of which we're shooting. So for example, you'll see car videos in which they have part of the car included, motorcycles or bicycle videos, and different things like that, where you can see part of the vehicle within the shot, and that kind of gives you a dynamic feel for the viewer, feel that they're kind of part of the action. So what if you wanted to get the drone into part of the picture so you can have like a new type of shot? And that would involve using a small action cam like this. This is the Insta360 Go2, and it's a very small, as you can see, about the size of a thumb, a very small action camera. Super small, lightweight, and actually the video quality is pretty good. Not pretty good for a small camera, just good in overall, as long as it's not very low light. And stability is actually very good. So it's actually a really versatile camera. It actually shoots in a circle. It shoots in a circle, and within that circle, it takes the video from, like, either if it's going to be a landscape or a portrait out of that circle. And actually you can adjust it very slightly. You can actually adjust the actual video output, whatever crops within that circle that it's actually recording. So it's quite versatile, flexible in that aspect. So I think it's actually the perfect type of camera that's meant to try for this kind of drone shot. Cons would be that this camera, it's just all sealed up because it is relatively waterproof. You have a limited runtime of about 8 minutes, and that's more of a heat issue, so I guess there's nowhere for the heat to escape. So if you're in pro mode and you will only want to shoot in pro mode, which offers stability, it'll be 8 minutes tops. So that's something to consider. And also because it has a built-in battery and a built-in 32 gigabyte memory storage, and they actually have a 64 gigabyte, but you're limited about maybe 30 minutes of time that you can record in this, and by that time you would have to back it up into your phone. It's not a deal killer for sure, but something to consider. Okay, so we've definitely concluded that this is probably the best way to record that, because it's the lightest camera and smallest camera that you can get that still offers a really great quality. If you wanted to compare it to a GoPro, some people use GoPros for their FPV, but actually it's very heavy. Just bring out a machine to get it. Let's see, zero out, and the GoPro, 162 grams, and this is without any type of mount to mount it onto the drone. And let's see, this will weigh in at 27 grams. Let's put also with the mount on it, how you would mount it. So total weight of 48, so much less, right? So much less than this, right? So actually with this weight, so this clips on like that, you can see it's magnetically and holds. This weight, you actually, Mavic Mini, where they have a Mini 1, 2, or 3, can actually support the weight without issues. I actually flew this with my bigger drone, the MP1, and yeah, I actually created a little off-mount like stick thing, and which I will show you. But normally you would want to clip on here. What it has is like this kind of backing, which is like a reusable that you can wash. It's a kind of reusable tacky surface. It's basically meant to stick on probably smooth surfaces, but I think it would be fine here. I mean, what you want is it to give you a friction surface, and then you can put a Velcro that will wrap around to make sure it holds on here. And then what this kind of angle or this mounting will give you is this kind of front viewpoint, where it'll be sort of like maybe it'll be something like this. Kind of looks like a crab or something like that. So you can imagine as you're flying and you have like part of your drone in the shot, it's quite funny or cool to do it that way. It just gives you a different cinematic shot that if you're shooting drone videos, it might be fun to play with this. Let's switch this over to my Mavic Pro. Ta-da! So much heavier and bigger. So what I ended up doing is I ended up using just popsicle sticks to mount it. I wanted to try to actually mount it off the drone. So I had it installed here, and this is just basically made with like 2 popsicle sticks and that are glued together, and put some tape just in case that there's some kind of maybe glare, I'm not sure, or extra support. What I ended up doing is that I ended up using this landing feet as part of the thing, and then just sliding it in, and voila, it holds like that, and then it's using this. So now I know for sure that this kind of feet is meant to, I guess, be removable and replaceable, but amount of weight that this camera is and the footprint that it's creating in the air, it's just not big enough to create any kind of problems. So even despite this is like hanging off of it, and you're getting like a leverage effect, which is just hanging off like that, it's still, it has zero effect. I felt zero effect on the flight time and on the maneuverability, just nothing. Of course, you can also just mount it on the top. That depends what part of the drone you want on within the shot. So you can do like this, just like with the Mini. Because this part is all plastic, this doesn't affect any of the electronics, the GPS or anything like that. It's basically, if you have metal, the metal can block. You don't want to have metal on top of any part of the drone, for any drone, because then the metal could block the GPS signal. But you can put it on top of here, and then do a strap as well to secure it. Just make sure you take this cover off so it's nice and sticky, and you can choose to adjust this. And I would say that you would want to adjust either kind of flat or a little bit back, and that's because the shot you will want to get is as yourself moving forward, and as you're moving forward, the drone is tilting. Right? Okay. Yeah. So this looks better. So as you're flying, you'll be tilting this way, so you can just maybe want to tilt it back a little so it's more level. But as I said before, you have a little wiggle room to adjust in post. If you wanted to angle a little bit up, a little bit down, depending how much of this you want to get into the shot. So in terms of flying, and you want to get a nice cinematic shot, you would have to, I would say first you would have to try to pick a non-windy day, because you just don't want the drone to be shaking around, because then it's just going to pick up the drone kind of like you know, tossing, turning. You want it to be as stable as possible, and also your action or behavior on the flight sticks, you should be just kind of as, you know, smooth as possible and as stable as possible and consistent. What I would say is you would try to try to fly the drone basically like an airplane if possible. I know there's an airplane mode in the Mavic Pro. It might be in one of your whatever drone you choose to use, but you can just replicate that by just holding the stick forward consistently, as opposed to just kind of stopping. So if you went forward and then stopped, then it would kind of go back like this way to stop. You can just kind of hit it forward, and then if you choose to, whatever your point of interest you're shooting, you can just keep it going forward and like turn it around like an airplane. So you would try to emulate that kind of flight pattern, and that'll give you a more better shot. Like if you're trying to shoot whatever you're trying to shoot, like the area you're trying to shoot, you just want to kind of go forward and just be as smooth as possible. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, there's nothing more to really explain. This is the case that it comes with, and this case, this is where you put the actual camera to charge up. Looks like an AirPod case. So you could use this case if you wanted to press record to start it remotely here, or you could have just press it manually and then lift off the drone. Then you have like your 8-minute runtime before it will just kind of overheat and just stop itself. Or you can actually set the timer, like I have mine set at 5 minutes, so it actually auto shuts at 5 minutes. And so yeah, turn it on and then get the drone off. You may want to test it yourself in a clear, you know, grassy area, just to make sure the way you mount it is correct, and if you want to get comfortable with it as well. That's pretty much it, I think. You can experiment as you choose. I never tried to mount it on the bottom, but I suppose you could mount it. You would lose, I guess, you can get, I guess, the belly of the beast if you wanted to get that as part of the shot, and then if you wanted, but then you would not angle it down, because you would not get any of the drone, and that wouldn't make sense. So you would angle it forward. That'd be kind of interesting. Obviously try not to block any sensors. Then you would have to hand launch as well. So trial and error, you can choose as you want. This is just a fun project. I have the flight that I actually recorded with, so you can get an idea of how the footage may look like, and then you can choose to experiment yourself. Okay, that's it. So if you find this video useful or interesting, you can like, share, and subscribe. Those are 3 things you can do to help. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.